What's going on, everybody? I'm Quest for Nostalgia. I'm a YouTube content creator and stream variety games over on Twitch. I love talking things nerdy and video games. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how I made the Judge Dredd helmet for a commission. So let's get into this thing. So as you can see, I made the Dredd 2012 version of the Judge Dredd helmet. This was a commission for a buddy for an upcoming Halloween costume. And so I got to work on this thing. Super excited with how this thing came out. I love it. I think I need to make one for myself. Kind of makes me want to do a theme of like 90s, early 2000s, sci-fi, different things like that. Maybe RoboCop, do some different helmets and stuff. So you guys let me know in the comments below if you want to see themes. I want to do clone troopers, stormtroopers, maybe a whole trooper line. Do you want to see an action movie line? Do you want to see sci-fi? And to these kind of themes, like you see the theme of all the Power Rangers here, so we're going to continue that on. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see. But let's get into the print orientation about how I printed this helmet. Alright, so we are using the free Thingiverse file here for the Judge Dredd helmet. I used the full helmet here, and this one's a super simple one to print. Just did it as a bowl. I tried it before as the kind of regular side up, where you kind of had it laying flat and try to catch the front supports here. Well, the tower ended up falling over, and so I have a fail with me. But yeah, just lay it on its back. The thing that I focused about with this was actually trying to make sure that it was right about here. I didn't want it to go into this area where it started to have different detail. I didn't want it to go over the edge here. So whatever your printer is comfortable at settings wise, I just supported this. I blocked off all of these extra little guys that are hanging here because I know my printer can do those overhangs. But if you know your printer, maybe you'll want supports catching these little spots on the edge. But my printer overall was good enough to do the overhang fine. Super simple print. So yeah, as you saw in the print orientation there, I tried to print it upright first and it failed. So I have a failure here, and this is because the tower fell over and it didn't catch the kind of nose bridge X on there. So bowl method was the easiest way to go about doing it. So we start with the raw print. It has a little bit on the top there that's a little bit rougher than normal just because you do it to the bowl. The supports kind of stick to the helmet a little bit more, so it takes a little bit more to pry away and sand down. As always, I start with 80 grit. And with this helmet being so smooth and so many flat surfaces, honestly, I could use a lot with the detail sander at 80 grit to really knock down these layers. It's really easy to knock it down with the sander, and it looks really good right off the start. So I did 120 after the 80 grit and knocked it down just a few more layers just to kind of really get rid of as much as I could before I even started using filler primer or anything like that. Like I mentioned, we're going to use the filler primer. That's going to be my next line of defense against these layer lines. It's going to fill in even smaller voids. And then we can get into using Bondo glazing putty. I used a lot of Bondo glazing putty on this one because it does have so many big smooth surfaces. It's going to have a high shine to this model. So I really wanted to make sure it was nice and smooth. So I used a lot of it. And then after I did the Bondo, I actually sanded 120 again and then up to 220. Now you can see how this looks now up to the 220 after all of that. Now I've got a really nice surface to work with. I then hit it with a sandable primer. It's this clay. I really like it. It shows me, the little things left over. I then hit it with 320 grit sandpaper. That's going to be my last sanding of this here. I actually don't like to go crazy high. Sometimes I do on metallics, but if I can get it really nice on 320, I like to leave it there so that it has a little bit more grip to paint onto. This is where things get different. So I had a big failure where I had to repaint the entire thing over. And so what I like to do is I like to start in the deepest part of the model first. So I painted the navy blue first, and then I masked it. Then I painted the gold, and you're going to see the gold runs on me instantly. I mean, it was a sprit, and it ran so fast, it just did not want to adhere at all. I stopped using that Rust-Oleum gold. It's been nothing but trouble for me, so I actually swapped off of that one and went with a different type. But so after I sanded that, I tried to brush paint the gold and didn't like how that ended up coming out, but I had gone ahead, masked the gold off, and painted it red, and just realized it was not the quality that I wanted to. Also, the tape kind of left streaking. Using that green frog tape, I don't recommend. Left a little bit of like residue or streaking on the blue. So I just said, you know what, I need to paint this all over. It's a commission. I want this to be really, really nice. So I started over. I sanded it down. I wet sanded it down to 600 grit, I think, to get all of the layer lines off there, to get the gold sanded down nice and smooth. And I painted it in a different way. I did gold first with a Krylon gold, and then I masked that off. I then painted the red trim, and then I masked that off, and then I painted the blue. After all that was done, I clear coated with a 1K clear coat from an automotive shop like Advanced Auto. Just get a 1K clear, high gloss. Came out so good, and then it was time for the visor. The visors are the same as normal. I go ahead, I'd make a paper template. I put in there to see where it lines up under the nose there. I looked at a reference image. Then I went ahead and put that on the face shield. I window tinted it, and then I took a glue gun and I hot glued the visor in place, and it came out awesome. I love this helmet, I really do. It's so hard sometimes to part with these things when you're done with it. Like, I just really, really enjoy the way that this thing came out. I mean, goodness gracious. I know they're going to be super, super excited to have this, and they're waiting on this for their cosplay to be done so that they can have this full suit for Halloween. I do love that the Judge Dredd 2012 went with like a comic book style when you look at the reference images for the comic books and whatnot. I do love the way that this thing looks, and it's just an iconic sci-fi helmet to me. I hope this video was really helpful for you. If there's anything that was unclear or anything, put that in the comments below, but also in the comments, let me know, is there a theme that you'd like to see? Because that's kind of what I want to do. I want to do it in themes, like maybe a Marvel theme, or like a trooper theme, like, you know, Clone Trooper, Stormtrooper, Scout Trooper, First Order. Do a theme like retro movies, retro sci-fi, RoboCop, you know, Blade Runner pistols, ninja swords, you know, things from anime. Just let me know what you're interested in, and we can probably make that happen. Hopefully you've been enjoying these. I try to give you as much information as possible through all of this process here, and I hope that that really helps you out. So thanks. If you can like, comment, subscribe, all those things to help me out, it really does help me out. I want to work on a Patreon to kind of help fund some of these so I can really keep doing projects for you guys. But you guys are awesome, and if you've made it this far, you're the backbone of the channel. It really, really helps. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Peace.